Okay, I think we have all the, yeah, you guys are able to see my screen, right? Yeah. So yes, so this is the thing that I was telling. Okay, so users, uh, yeah. So user, let me hide this. Okay, so users, you're gonna have these things. Okay, so these are the things that you will be able to find. Okay, so you can assign a particular permission set to a user. Okay, so this is the place where you will assign particular permission set. So for example, this user, he's assigned to a permission set called access on account field. Okay, and also he has got this permission set also assigned to him. Okay, enable audit fields for edition. Okay, so once you click on this edit assignments, you will be able to remove or provide any new permission set access to this particular person. Okay, so commerce admin. Okay, so I'm just going to provide this permission set to this person. Okay, so a shopper, something like this. Okay, then if I click on save, so he will be shown with these four permission set which I just assigned to him. Okay, and this is the place where you can also yeah, this is the place where you can also see, sorry, yeah. And yeah, so this is the place where you can almost see all the permission set which got assigned to this user. Okay, and also the date uh, when you assign this permission set to them. Okay, and also you have the permission set license. So for example, it's not only the permission set that you give, it's also the permission set license. Okay, so for example, you have something like Einstein Analytics. Okay, so that license is going to cost you bomb. Okay, so it's going to cost like more than $100 per license. Okay, which is like heavy. So if at all if you wanted to give access to only the board members in the committee, you can choose that permission set license. Okay, which will be giving special access to the board members alone. So that's the thing that you could do using this part. Okay, and also permission set group assignments, you can also assign it to a group and have members into that group. Okay, and yeah, these are the things which I told you, right? Like the permission set license where you will be able to edit the particular license. Okay, so these are all the things. So for example, if at all if you're going to give this particular license access to him, you can have the things that will provide the facilities and features to this person. Okay, so for example, the user permissions that the user is going to get once I assign this permission set license to him. Okay, so these are going to be the points that will give him the extra permissions. Okay, and also the object permissions, he's going to have the accounts as read and the categories as read. So these are all the objects that he's going to get extra. Okay, so that's the purpose of this permission set license, that you could give it to the particular user. Okay, so pretty much you have all these things. Okay, the queue membership, if at all if you wanted to add him to a particular queue. Okay, so then you can add him to this queue. So these are all the things that you can simply do. Okay, using this Salesforce. So for example, if at all if you wanted to add this user or any other user like his manager to a particular queue, you can simply create a new queue and add these members to this queue. Okay, and you will be having, so if you see the team manager of this particular person, he will be displayed here. Okay, the security user, if at all if you see, and also you could see that managers in role hierarchy. So if at all if security user has any other manager, right, so those things they will be able to see it in this component. Okay, so if at all if security user is going to have another manager, say this particular person, Monkey Mills, is going to have security manager as his security user as his manager, and security user has some other person as his manager in the higher level. So it's going to show it in that way. Okay, so that if at all imagine this person is on vacation, and I'm going to see like, okay, who's the other person manager, and find that even that manager is on vacation. So what I do, I escalate to the next level, right? So that's the thing that you could see it here, the manager and role hierarchy. Okay, so this is something that you could see. For example, if at all if you have connected your Salesforce account. So I belong to this, like I have logged in with this email ID, right? So I have actually used like different things to connect different application, right? So just now, so today I have connected to Trailblazer. I have just logged in. So it's going to show the thing that you connected here. So pretty much in the user detail page, you can see whichever the things that you have done. Okay. So yesterday, not yesterday, last year, I have connected it to data loader. Okay. Data loader is some external tool that you would use that Salesforce by default they have provided, right? So with that tool, you can use any kind of data load or data update or data insert or any kind of things. You can purely do it using this data loader thing. Okay. So these are all the things that you could, generally do. Okay. So you need not get any extra attention or such things for the things that you're going to do. Okay. You're going to have the details displayed by default. Okay. And also the login history. Okay. So for example, I pretty much logged in these days. Okay. So if you could see it here. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I could see it here, right? Like the login thing. So for example, on 24th of February, I logged in at 5:11 a.m. And today I've logged it at 5:28 a.m. So there's going to be something in PST, which means that Pacific, if I'm not wrong. Okay. So it's showing in Pacific time. So it's something. So I need to change the time zone of my particular thing. Okay. Only then these things will change. Okay. It will be displayed as per the Indian time. Okay. So you can see that the location. Okay. So the location which I got the remote access was like Trailblazer. Okay. So that's the thing that got integrated with my Salesforce thing, right? And I got logged in into Salesforce Trilet, which showed the location as United States. So apart from that, I just logged in into Salesforce application, which shows you the location is India. Okay. So you can also download the login history for last 6 months as well. Okay. So if at all, if you're downloading, like you can just click on this button and your login history will be automatically downloaded, where you can open that to see your last 6 months login history. Okay. Okay. All right. So this is called as users. Okay. So the next topic I'm going to teach is about profile. Okay. So if you see profile, you can see that each user will be tagged under specific profile. Okay. So if you click on any users, okay, so he will be, yeah. So he will be corresponding to that particular profile. Okay. So if you see, yeah, at all, if you see, you will have these different profiles. Okay. So this user called security users, he's assigned to analytic cloud security profile. Okay. If you see monkey mills, he'll be assigned to system administrator. And if you see charter expert, they'll be assigned to charter free user profile. Okay. So this is how each user will be tagged under any profile, but they should be tagged. Okay. Because once you create a new user, right? So these are something that mandatory, without which you will not be able to save this user account. Okay. So you need to fill any kind of details into this particular text boxes. Only then you will be able to save this one. Okay. So you find something in red strip, right? So this is called as a mandatory field values that you need to get through. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, let me go to profiles. Okay. So if you see, these are all the available profiles that are there under this org. Okay. So Salesforce by default, they provide certain profiles like marketing, sales, force.com users. So these are all the things. So if at all, if you guys have logged in into your trial user account, right? So if at all, if you go to profiles, just look into what are all the profiles that Salesforce by default they provided you, right? So if at all, if you go into each profile, right, you will be able to see the settings, okay, that is set for this particular profile. So if you click on edit, you're going to pretty much get the idea on whatever the settings this is. Okay. So if at all, if you wanted to provide this analytics studio access to this particular profile, so you can click on this, which means that whichever user who's there under this profile, okay, so they're going to have access to Analytics Studio 1. Okay, so the things that you see here, this one also, the app launcher. Okay, so for example, I don't want this profile users to have access on app launcher. Okay, I could just uncheck this checkbox. Okay, I cannot. So if at all, if I wanted this particular profile guys to have access to app launcher, I can just click on this. Okay, so that's how you can give access to specific settings on your Salesforce tool. Okay, so if you see, these are all called as tab settings. So if you guys see this one, right? Okay, let me go to home. So if you see here, you can find all the tabs here, right? So that's the thing that you could see it here. So if at all, if I don't want account tab to be present on this home page, okay, I don't want this. Okay, so if I belong to this particular profile called Analytics Cloud profile, I'm not going to have the visibility of the tab on this navigation bar. Okay, so if I'm going to have this tab hidden here, so I'm not going to have this one visible here. Okay, so that's how this works. So by default, if I click default on, so it's going to have this tab visible by default. Okay, if at all, if I don't want this, I can click on default off, which means that I will not be able to see the tab no matter what. Okay, so these are all something that is there. So for each object, you will be having this one. Okay, so if at all, if it is macros or operation hours or whatever objects, all the objects pretty much you can find it here. Okay, so and also yeah, so you have another permissions as well called administrative permissions. Okay, so if at all, if you wanted to give access to REST services, okay, or SOAP services, all these things you can give, like, because most of the things you wouldn't be giving access to your end users, because these are all something that developers handle, right? Simply, if you're going to give access to REST service and all, imagine the end user, he will not be a techie guy. Okay, simply he's gonna open that class and make some change for fun, then all the other users also gonna get affected, right? So this is something that you shouldn't give access to your end user. Okay, so you should withhold this access. Okay, so that's something that you will be learning as you go through the developer sessions. Okay, so manage Tableau CRM. So this is something that is related to, Salesforce external application thing. Okay, so all these things like CRM custom maps or view all data. This is something that uh, you need to provide only if you want the users under this profile to have access on all the data across the org. Okay, so maximum you wouldn't be giving this option as well, because once you give access to all data, imagine I'm a salesperson and I shouldn't be looking at my manager's data, right? So he'll be having different data to categorize the persons or the team working under him, right? So if you select the view all data access to him, obviously he's going to have access to the data that this manager is viewing, which shouldn't be the case, right? So you're simply going to uncheck this setting as well. So this is something that you could set for this profile. So if you go to pretty much you can see all the settings that you have. Okay, like you can have view knowledge articles or event log files, reports, all these things. If you wanted to monitor any kind of data that is coming in the back end, so all these kind of things, if at all, if you wanted to give access to this particular profile, you can give, or yeah, it's purely dependent on the business requirement. Okay, so this is something that object permission. Okay, so if at all, if I wanted to have read permission, or if I wanted to have only read or read and create but not edit. Okay, so if at all, if I wanted to have everything, I can give it like modify all or view all or something like this. Okay, so in this also you'll be able to find all the objects that are available in the org. Okay, so that's why you need to give this access to. Okay, and also you will be finding different tabs. Like for standard objects you will find different tab, and for custom object you will find different tab. So all these things. Okay, so session settings, which is like if at all if you're not for example, if you're not doing any changes in your org. So if at all, if I'm idle, I'm away from my desk and I'm not using Salesforce. Okay. So there will be some minimum time that you will be logged into, right? So for example, if at all, if you log into Facebook and if you're not using it for 3 to 4 hours, and again, if you come back to your desk and log in into Facebook, right? You will be asked to enter your credentials, your password and all again to get into the Facebook homepage, right? Similar thing, it's here. Okay, so if at all, if you wanted to have, like, if at all, if the user is not using for 4 hours of activity and only after 4 hours of inactivity, I need to make that user log out of that session. Okay, which means that the next time after 4 hours, if he's coming back to his system, he again need to enter his he again needs to enter his credentials, password, just to enter into the Salesforce homepage. Okay, and these are all something that you need to set, like if at all uh, your user password will be expiring at minimum in 90 days or 180 days, or it's up to you, or 60 days or something like that. Okay, and the password which is remembered and the password length, if at all, if it should include any alphanumeric or camel case kind of thing, or uppercase, lowercase. So all these kind of strings settings you will be able to select. Okay, and if at all, if your password question shouldn't contain any any strings or numbers or anything. Okay, so you will be able to select using this option. Okay, so for this particular profile, they're going to have password settings and password policies in this way, where you'll be setting it here. Okay, so yeah, these are called as profiles, but today I just gave you ideas. Tomorrow I'll be going deep into it and teaching you like what are all the settings and how profiles roles are related, and what how permission sets are related to this particular profile. And when I told when I tell profile, you will be able to find this view user button here, right? So there's only one user that is tagged under this particular profile. Okay, and also pretty much you will be able to find this public groups, queues, roles. So these are all the things that are like interrelated. Okay, so these are the things that we will be going through in our next couple of classes. Okay, so any doubts in this session? So if you guys have any doubts, so yeah, throw out your questions. So Kishore or Alagendri, do you have any doubts?
No, sir. No, we're fine.
Yeah, so yeah, I recommend you guys to, like, have some practice on the things that I taught you, like approval process or profile. Just try creating a new profile by yourself and give different settings, and just assign any of the user under that particular profile and log in as that user and see how the setting is reflected and all, right? So yeah, so
Yeah,
as of now, yeah, you guys can simply like just create a approval process and see. But tomorrow, yeah, I'll be going deep diving into the profile settings and all, so that like you guys can create a new profile and assign it to different profiles and see. All right,
yeah, sure. Charan, the access to the videos is still not given.
it's still not given. Oh, I need to tell it to like, I have intimated a couple of times to Prasad, but
Mhm.
the last time he told me was he needs some VPN kind of thing to give access to that folder. So maybe
Okay.
I will again ask him in the group itself. Okay.
Yeah.
Or yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, because yeah, we asked him couple of times, and yeah, I'll again ask him anyway. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Cool. Alagendri, do you have any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay. Cool. Okay, guys. Let's wind up this call. Yeah. Take care. Bye.